Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today, we are discussing the entire Stick War lore, from Stick War 1 to Stick War Saga. We will be discussing everything that took place in these games. Now, before I begin the video, I would like to credit the Chaos Empire for this video idea. Link in the description. Check them out. In the beginning, V laid wrapped in this cocoon, dreaming of what might be an eternal slumber, an infinite loneliness. He lacked companionship, and in that moment, time began, and he removed his 1,000 eyes and casted them into the darkness, creating the stars and space. He chose one planet among the rest as his final resting place, Inamorta. He still hasn't felt alive, so he needed children. And so, he created the elemental, earth and water, and for a while, they lived in peace. Water claiming the sea, while earth claimed the land. For millions of years, the two elementals lived in peace, until their populations reached a point where they couldn't share anymore. As a result, they fought intense battles, fighting for dominances. V became very angry as a result, creating the third element, fire. Instead of what V expected, fire became full of hate, and evil was born into Inamorta. And fire took over both land and sea, with even more evil desires. And V had no choice but to create a fourth element, air. Unlike the fire elementals, the air elementals followed V's commands and were loyal, and thought to be the cure, and fought for a world of peace. But fire did not care. They only worshipped themselves, and fire, seeing the creation of air, wanted to create something of their own. But the only thing they could create was hate. Creating the Chaos Empire was their only faith. And this new empire could live and die and truly had a soul and were too powerful to control. The air elementals could not stop them, but prayed to V to bring justice and order. And V comes down and makes a magical flower, which would create the Order Empire.
A very long time later, two twin brothers from South Inamorta would create an early nation, which would become the Order Empire. During this time, we found out all the nations in South Inamorta hated each other, and thought only themselves and their technology and weapons were right. And we see this in Stick War Legacy's plot. These included the Archidons led by General Arcus, the Sword Wrath led by General Rathnar, the Spiritans led by General Spiros, the Magic Hill led by General Magus, and Merix led by General Mera. We know each nation's people believe their way of life is the only way, and is dedicated to teaching all other nations by war. So basically, this was a very chaotic time, and the first Great War of Inamorta began, and Order came out on top, defeating all the other nations and obtaining their technologies. Also, all the generals of the nations agreed to join the Order Empire, and during this time a lot of Zarek's children were born, like Kitchu, Thera, Shade, Icaron. The old generals were a little worried, but not too much. Everything was looking good for a while until...
Welcome to Stick War 2. During these times, many of nations Order conquered started revolting against them for bringing chaos into their nation instead of order. Also, all the old generals would be defeated by the royal siblings. Arcus being defeated by Kitchu, Rathnar being defeated by Xiphos, Mera defeated by Thera, Spiros defeated by Adicai. And during these intense battles against the rebels, young Adicai, son of Zarek, would die in battle being replaced by Atreyos, and after Order would reclaim all the rebels until they reach no man's land, which is supposed to be a simple end, has turned into a new beginning. And after defeating the giants, Order would be confronted by Medusa, and the rebels will unite with Order to stop Medusa.
You fools thought Inamorta belonged to you. We have been here all along, biding our time, crowing with the power, while your armies destroy themselves in battles over land that belongs to me. But now you have enslaved my babies, and I will wait no more. Now you will feel the wrath of the Chaos Empire.
Today we come together representing each of the rebel nations to offer a truce. We wish to join your order empire. Clearly, there is a bigger threat that we cannot face alone. That monster was right. All we've been doing for years is making ourselves weak. Today, we can unite and share this new land, so none shall live as rebels again.
Also during this time, Adicai, which is Adicai, would try to come back but get rejected by the Order Empire, and he finds out he has been forgotten and replaced by Atreyos, getting heartbroken and joining the Chaos Empire as a result. And Order starts to take over the land of the Chaos Empire until they finally reach the Chaos Empire's castle. And the one final battle began, and Order came out victorious. And after this began the story of Stick War Saga. Welcome to Stick War Saga. The first thing that we know happened in this time was Atreyos getting the less incomplete map of the Stick War Saga campaign, which as a result costed him to endure hundreds of nights, because the Marrowkai, which is Adicai, wanted to get revenge on Atreyos for taking his place, and his father's attention, so he ambushes Atreyos for countless nights with his dead army. And Atreyos and his Order soldiers had to endure countless nights, and now the Stick War Saga campaign starts. And in this campaign, we see this takes place after the death of Gargos, better known as Medusa. And Order finds out the Chaos Empire imprisoned the Elementals. Also, Zarek sees a map the Elementals have and gets interested, so they make a deal to free the Elementals for the map. And everything looks great for a while until the Marrowkai caught Zarek and was about to kill him until the fire and water elementals made a powerful explosion to knock all three of the leaders out. And we see each of the three leaders getting 1/3 of the map. And as the campaign begins, we find out all the old generals have made new rebel groups. Magus making the Voltaic Revolt, Spiros making the Glacial Uprising, Mira the Vampiric Soul Stealers, Arcus the Woodland Tribes, Rathnar the Flame Feeders. We also find out all the old generals have gotten elemental powers, Magus Lightning, Spiros Ice, Mira Lifesteal, Arcus Leaf, Rathnar Fire. And in the campaign, Xiphos and Thera help us in some of the levels, such as the battle with Spiros, and he tells the story on why the old generals left. He explains Zarek wanted his children to lead his armies, so he made the trials of superiority and they agreed, and the worst outcome happened. All the old generals were defeated by the royal siblings and replaced. Spiros shares everything as we see.
After your father united the great nations during the first battle of Inamorta, things were good for a while. Until your mother, a great woman, may the spears guard her soul, gave birth to you and the rest of the royal siblings. We as generals knew it wouldn't be long. Your father would rightly want his own heirs, leading his armies. We begged your father to keep the old way, selection by the trials of superiority. He agreed. And in hindsight, the worst outcome. Archis, from the House of Archidons, was the first to lose their position. Next was Mera, from the House Merrick. One at a time, eventually we all fell. Even me, loyal to your father through 2 great wars. Adicai could barely see over his shield. I didn't last long. I was defeated as if I were a child. Many of us became split by rebel recruiters. We were tempted by the prospect of taking back what was ours. I was sworn to protect the royal siblings, not to take orders from children. When Adicai was struck down in battle, surely it was my turn to step back in. Your father assigns Atreyos to lead. The boy doesn't even train. He's never in school, and worst of all, doesn't believe in the way of the spear. Oh, that was the final splinter. I left to find my own way. Hundreds loyal to me followed. We were in search of the old ways. But what we were led to was something ancient, something magical, and it changed everything forever. It turns out we're not the only ones that got lucky.
Also, we find out Marrowkai becomes the leader of the Chaos Empire after the death of Medusa, and as Order starts to take back all the general rebel groups. In the land of the Chaos Empire, King Zarek has gotten a lot of ego and thought he was invincible after killing Medusa, and he later gets ambushed by the Marrowkai's dead army and imprisoned until he finally was saved when the Marrowkai was ambushing the Order Empire and trying to fight Atreyos. And Zarek was saved.
I'm just not sure about this, Zarek. Something is off here.
Are you worried, Zilly?
Zilleros.
Yeah, you're worried. I might get a taste of magic. Then what? I won't need you poking around.
Can you at least have a rest? Decide tomorrow on a clear head.
Ah! The King of Inamorta, Slayer of the Chaos Empire, does not rest. Maybe you need a nap, old man.
What is he talking about? We're twins. He's not thinking straight.
We leave tonight. Zilly, you stay. Don't let anyone touch that throne. I plan to have it brought back to the capital. That's your only job. Do you think you can manage?
You're bringing that monstrosity back to Castle Iris.
Don't you ever speak her name. You're not worthy.
Zarek, what are you talking about? What is going on with you?
Ready my mount. You look ridiculous in that.
Zilleros sent me.
I figure he'd send a spy. I'd say I'm disappointed it's you. But I'm not surprised.
Father, listen! Zilleros was right. We interrogated the scout. He's not one of ours.
Zilleros is behind this. He's always up to something.
He sent me here to protect you.
He thinks I need protection. That's outrageous. He's trying to undermine me.
I brought the Shadow Wrath and we are at your command, sir.
Very well. I will accept them. But you will head back to Castle Iris immediately. The battlefield is no place for a girl. It's bad enough I've got Kaiju and Thera running around playing hero. Now I've got to worry about you, too? Do you know what immediately means? You're supposed to be quick. So, what's the deal? A pile of gold? You want your very own castle? Tell me about your family. You can have them. Bunch of ungrateful. All of them. What do you care? These are your last words. Is there anything you'd like me to pass on to them? Have you got something to drink? We have none of your pleasures. Not here, not here, not here, not here. I lost my boy. He was meant to take over everything. He was like me, only better in every way. A leader that people loved, not feared. You lost your son, Adicai. I'm speaking of Atreyos. If I die tonight, tell him that his father loves him.
But we later get a hint that Zeleros might have actually made Zarek fall for the plan. As Zarek explains, I did not forget Zilly. I forgive you just a Theroi, though. And Zeleros takes Zarek's place in the campaign, as we see calling himself the leader of the Order Empire and founder. And Order finally takes over all the land, until they reach Rathnar. Unlike the other generals, Rathnar was trying to protect Inamorta from the Lunarclops, but the battle between Order and the Flame Feeders caused the Lunarclops to come down to a final showdown, as Atreyos takes the Lunarclops down. After that, Zelaros thought he had control over Atreyos, as he says. But Atreyos wasn't loyal to him. He was only loyal to his father, Zarek.
All I've ever done was to protect Inamorta. Once again, the Order Empire has taken everything.
Excellent work, Atreyos. It's good to have you back. You won't have me, Zeleros. You never will. I will translate it, note it down, sent direct to me. Zarek has held my crown long enough.
Hello guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. It took me a while to make this, so I would love if you guys like or subscribe. It will help out a ton. Also, could you guys give me some suggestions to make videos on? Good theories, lore, or just fan questions. Anyways, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Kong out.